Hey, what's up everybody? Happy Friday. This is Like It's 1985, and this is a review of Iron Man, the Armored Avenger, Repulsor Power Iron Man Mark 6, and Repulsor Power War Machine. And first we're going to take a look at the actual packaging that these two figures come in. So one thing about the packaging, in particular the packaging for the Repulsor Power Iron Man figure on the left here. The one thing that's really cool about this is, of course, they use actual ties to actually secure the figure inside of the packaging. But what Hasbro has done is, in addition to using the ties, they've actually used this clear plastic sheath around the tie itself. And I really think that's to actually protect the paint on the Iron Man figure. War Machine, they just have the ties without the sheath, because I think War Machine does not have the problem of actually having paint wearing off against the tie. So really great job on Hasbro's part just to have the foresight to think about this and how the tie over time may wear against the red gold paint on the Iron Man figure. So packaging here, really nice. You can see in the background behind where the figure would be, you've got the triangle shaped arc reactor. And looking at the back, of course you have a look at the figures, the accessories, and some details on what those accessories and figures can do. And let's have a look at Iron Man Mark 6 first. We'll take a look at the accessory that figure comes with. You do get two of these sort of translucent blue projectiles, or missiles. And these actually will go into the what they call, or what Hasbro calls, the missile launching robotic arm, which is this accessory right here. And so what you do, of course, you just insert the missile into the robotic arm like that. There's the trigger, and the missile goes flying off. So you do have that play feature there with the robotic arm. Now, of course, the robotic arm should be familiar if you watch the Iron Man movies when we see Tony Stark working in his laboratory. We see this actual robotic arm, or something that looks, similar to this. This particular accessory does have a articulation. So you have a ratchet joint there, and looking at the claw portion, this is actually made of soft plastic with silver paint. In addition to that joint there, you have rotation like that. And then what's really cool also is you have sort of a fake piston effect like that. And lastly, on the base here, there are actually 4 wheels, and the robotic arm does move using those, or it slides rather, moving those, using those 4 wheels on the bottom. So this is actually a really nice accessory. I really do like that, actually. So now, looking at Iron Man Mark 6 himself. Now, one thing I want to say about these two figures are actually, in terms of height, are the same height. I actually measured off camera, and both of these figures are 10 inches tall. Yes, that's 10 inches. And just to illustrate that point, I'll bring in the 3 3/4 inch Iron Man figure here. And you can see the size difference there. And also the 6-inch scale War Machine on the left there. So, looking really cool. And as I will mention later in the articulation portion of this review, there is not a lot of articulation, but my argument is these look great. I mean, they look great on my shelf, and they just make great display pieces. So looking at Iron Man Mark 6, obviously the one of the key features is the fantastic paint. The metallic red, the silver, the gold accents. Really fantastic paint. And I have to say, on this scale of figure, the Hasbro has done a good job, at least on my particular figure, because there are small issues with paint here and there. I can see some overrun here and there, but really considering how big this figure is and how big or how much Hasbro could have really messed up on the paint issues, this actually turned out really, really nice. Just fantastic. And we all know with the smaller, like 3 3/4 inch scale Iron Man 2 figures, at least in my area, there were a lot of issues with those figures, really, really bad issues. This figure really does not have any issues like that. I mean, you can see here there's a little bit of paint there where the silver should be, but really, overall, fantastic. And in terms of articulation, the articulation is the same on both of these figures, but starting up top here, at the neck, the head can go all the way around. When you first remove the Iron Man figure from packaging, you may meet some resistance, but that's just due to the fact that there's paint on paint. But really, there's articulation at the neck. The head can go like that. The arms, I should say, the shoulder armor here is part of the shoulder. It's not separate. It's actually cast as one piece of plastic. Shoulder is actually just a swivel. There's no way to actually get the arm to go out to the side because all you do is have a swivel type of joint there, or swivel type of articulation. You have a single bend at the elbow, and that's all it can do. It can bend only. It cannot swivel. You have a swivel articulation at the wrist, although it may be on a peg or a ball joint, but pretty much you have a swivel articulation at the wrist. However, there is no ab and there is no waist articulation, which is fine. What they've done here is they actually incorporated the speaker for the sound effects into his lower ab here. So this is where the speaker is. Moving down to the hips / legs, pretty much, well, the entirety of the articulation here is a swivel articulation. Forward like that, back just a little bit, and there is no way to get the leg out to the side because that's not the type of joint that this figure was engineered with. There's not even a swivel here at the thigh. There is no such thing, such joint here. The last point of articulation is at the knee, and that is it for the articulation for both of these figures. But like I said before, the lack of articulation does not really bother me. This is, I mean, just to do that is good enough, I think, to have this as a sort of a centerpiece in my collection as far as being displayed on a shelf. So, lastly, we'll take a listen to what Iron Man has to say.
I am Iron Man.
Yes, you are.
Now this is armored up. Repulsor power. Jarvis, looks like we've got their attention. Iron Man armor engaged. What am I going to do with you? We're just getting started. Target locked on. I've got your back, Rhodey. Iron Man armor, combat ready. Iron Man armor, powered up. I am Iron Man.
So there we go. Quite a few phrases, which is really nice. You know, some figures like this will come with only 1 or 2 or 3 phrases. As you can see, he's loaded with phrases. So that's really cool. So that's Iron Man Mark 6, and we will bring War Machine front and center. And War Machine looks like he should look. Really fantastic, really menacing. You can see that he has the traditional color scheme, of course, with sort of the gunmetal gray. We've got some silver going on. He's got the markings here you can see on his shoulder armor, on his torso there. So really fantastic. And of course he's got the signature missile rack there on his shoulder here, as well as the Gatling gun with the ammo clip. Now I do have to say one thing about the ammo clip. A a lot of people have complained about the smaller figures with the ammo clip not staying in correctly. I have to say, with this particular figure, no such problems. This is a solid connection going into the back here, as well as going into the Gatling gun itself. So that's really cool to see. I could have maybe arranged this a little bit differently, but basically, if I would have put it in like this, what it tends to do is skew the Gatling gun off to the side like that, just because of the way that the material is kind of sort of pulling the Gatling gun to the side. So anyways, that's why I had it like that, if you're wondering. Nice feature of the armor here, you can take this off. It's removable. But the cool part is, like with the other Iron Man, or like with the other War Machine figures, you can actually have a cover there, and that just pegs in there. So when you're not using this, you can just put this little piece of armor in, and it's all nice and flush and very cool. So we're going to take that out. See, it's just a little peg there. Let me put this back in. Again, the articulation is the same. You've got the head articulation. You've got shoulders.
I am War Machine.
Yes, we know. You got the shoulder articulation, elbow, wrists, and the hips, and the bend at the knee there. So really nice. Kind of a cool feature if you need to get to the batteries. This whole section of armor here does come off, and let me show you how that works. Go ahead and take this off here. It just pops off, and you can access the compartment where the batteries are. And this just simply snaps back into place. And it does hold on there.
I am War Machine.
Yes, we know. It does hold on really, really well, too, as well. There is a slider here for the actual mount that the Gatling gun is on. So it can actually slide back and forth. But realistically, you're probably going to keep it on his right shoulder. Let me plug that back in there. You can see the actual Gatling gun plugs in on a ball joint there. And we'll take a listen to what War Machine has to say.
I am War Machine. War Machine armor, combat ready. Now this is armored up. Systems engaged, ready to deploy. Maximum firepower. In my crosshairs. Heads up, Tony. War Machine engaged. Heat seekers armed. Firepower. I got your back, Tony. Mission accomplished. Come on, let's roll. War Machine reporting for duty. Military grade. War Machine armor locked and loaded. Now this is heavy metal. Seek and destroy. Target engaged. Fire at will. War Machine armor powered up. Tony, can you keep up? Battle tested. I am War Machine.
It seems like War Machine has quite a bit more phrases than Iron Man. But anyhow, let's take a look at the other accessories that come with War Machine here. You do get fairly large missiles or projectiles, and these are the two projectiles that the War Machine figure comes with. And just as again, as a size comparison, here is the 3 3/4 inch Iron Man next to War Machine's projectile. So you can see quite a size difference there. Well, basically you get the idea of the scale of these missiles. And yes, these do have capability to fire out of War Machine's weapons. Now, he does come with two really nice weapons. Here they are. taking a closer look at them in detail, the two colors here primarily are silver and a gunmetal gray. This particular weapon is a Gatling gun, and there's actually a trigger right here in which you can fire off the missile, which does fire pretty far. So you do have this weapon here, and you have this weapon as well. Again, same color scheme, really nice looking. And basically, if you look at the forearms of War Machine, you can see there's a slot there and a slot there. And you can plug them in either way. Like this one can go over here, this one can go that way, or vice versa. I think the correct orientation, though, is to have the trigger at the top. So that would mean the Gatling gun would go there on the left arm, and the other weapon here goes on the right arm. And look at that. This is a armored up, fully armed and ready War Machine. Really, really cool. Of course, you can put the missiles in if you want. You know, you can put them in there. This design with these two massive weapons reminds me a lot of the from Gundam, the Heavy Arms Custom. Just the way that they're attached to his forearms. So if you're familiar with Gundam Wing, you might agree with me on that. But yeah, very, very nice. I don't know if I'll display War Machine with these on because it's not really a traditional look, but look at that. Looks very, very wicked, very, very cool. So there you go. A look at the Iron Man Armored Avengers powered up, or Repulsor Power Iron Man and Repulsor Power War Machine. Just want to say something about the cost on these. I actually paid $10 for each of these figures. So for $20 I got two really, really cool figures, and that is a good deal. I got them actually at a discount store called TJ Maxx, and I actually saw these at Toys R Us for $24 each. So $10 versus $24. I was extremely happy to find these at TJ Maxx, and I suggest you pick them up as well. $10, definitely pick them up. Even if you find them for $20, I would say they're worth at least picking up one, if not two. But if you can find them for $10, definitely get both of them. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will catch you later.